Welcome back to the Buffalo Take. This is episode 9. I'm Cam Dixon, and I'm here with Travis Ojabina.
Going on, guys?
This week is our last Zoom call for a while. We'll have 4, I believe,
Yeah.
in person during winter break, which I'm excited to get out of here.
I
And you're already home, which
am
is
already
nice.
home.
But yeah, so college football is actually going to go by pretty quick because not a lot of games, and we're going to split the bowl games by weeks, so we don't have to go through every single one today. And we'll make our picks, and we'll do a little tracker of that. But kicking off, we had the Army Navy game this week. It was a great game. Army
Yeah.
Navy's
I
always a
didn't
great
really
game.
watch it, but I saw the ending.
Yeah, Bonnie's had a game during the first
Yeah.
three and a half quarters, so I didn't catch much of it, but I saw the ending. Yeah, I mean it's an Army Navy game, man. It's gonna be low scoring,
Yeah.
but the way they hit the over was pretty funny. Um,
Yeah.
they just took the knee in the end zone instead of trying to run a play out. But Army wins again. Go Army! So
Yeah.
good game there. And then, like I said, we're moving on to bowl season. We got some games coming up on Saturday, and then we got a couple. Well, we only have two besides Saturday to go over. But the first week of bowls kicks off at 11 a.m. On Saturday. The Myrtle Beach Bowl in Conway, South Carolina, Georgia
Yeah.
Southern, and Ohio.
So Georgia Southern is favored in this game.
And I agree with that. I mean, Ohio
Yeah.
Ohio's a good team, but they haven't really been that convincing, and they're still a MAC team. And Georgia Southern's
Hmm.
beaten some teams that are pretty good.
Yeah.
But I still don't know. I think because Ohio's going to have Curtis Rourke back, I believe. I actually have no idea, but
He was playing,
yeah, he was playing, and he's a great
right?
quarterback.
Yeah.
I
Or
don't.
did he play this game? Hold up.
I couldn't tell you. I mean, I'm not too invested in Ohio football
Yeah, neither am
unless
I.
unless they were
Yeah.
in the MAC championship. He did play. Okay, so I mean, he's a good quarterback, but I can see how Georgia Southern's favored. Um, yeah, this one's a tough one to pick. It's starting off the bat, but you know what? I'm gonna go Ohio.
I'm going with Georgia Southern.
All right. It's a good game to
I
start off,
think.
and
Yeah.
the weather for 11 a.m. in South Carolina is gonna be 45 degrees, which is kind of funny because
That's crazy.
it's moving into the cold weather in South Carolina, which isn't often. And then the Cricket Celebration Bowl at noon is the FCS Bowl between the SWAC and the MEAC, I believe. It's at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It's actually always a fun game because I frequently think about watching Tariq Cohen play in it for NCAA a couple years ago. Well, not a
Hmm.
couple years ago. It had to have been like
Hmm.
6 years ago now. But I just remember him playing because he was so short. Um, but this year it's Howard and Florida A&M. I'm taking Florida A&M easy because I mean Howard's still probably a good team, but Florida A&M is an 11-win team this year.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Florida A&M
Yeah, they
too.
got the
Yeah.
swagger that Jackson State had last year.
Hmm.
I like Florida A&M. And then
Yeah.
the third game on Saturday, you got Jacksonville State and Louisiana in the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl at Caesars Superdome. I I shout out to Jacksonville State. It's their first year in FBS, and they went 8-4
Hmm.
and made a bowl game.
Yeah.
I think they get it done this game. I think they win because that's a school that's not going to have a lot of guys opt out of the game. They're
That's
gonna they're
true.
gonna want their
You,
first bowl win.
yeah, you do have to take that into
And
account.
as a team that snuck in at 6-6, Louisiana has holes that Jacksonville State can take advantage of.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jacksonville State too. Especially since Louisiana only beat Buffalo 45-38.
Yeah, yeah, that was
That says a lot.
yeah. And then 3:30, Miami, Ohio, and Appalachian State. That's going to be a good game. And the Avocados from Mexico
Oh yeah.
Cure Bowl. I will say I really like the Avocados from Mexico commercials that I always see on Hulu.
Uh-huh.
It's always stuck in my head. But in Orlando, Florida, they take on dude, Miami, Ohio is. Uh, I said this last week. They were about half an hour from my school last year. I like Miami, Ohio, dude. they're a fun team, and but Appalachian State is tough. I will say that. I will say Appalachian State is
I want
tough.
to go with Appalachian State. I
I'm
want to go with them.
I may or may not be solely riding Miami, Ohio on the bias, but I mean I like Miami, Ohio on this one. I think they can get it done.
I'm gonna take the Mountaineers.
All right. We're gonna have. It's gonna be funny to see how many swing games we have in college
I don't
football
know.
compared to how many we have
No, no.
in the
It's like
NFL.
literally anything could have happened in these
Yeah,
games.
exactly. Yeah, and it also depends on who opts out. And I mean,
Yeah,
these
exactly.
early games there won't be as many opt outs as like the late games, but
Hmm.
it is kind of funny. And then 5:45, another solid game: New Mexico State and Fresno State in the Isleta, New Mexico Bowl at New Mexico University Stadium. So in Albuquerque. New Mexico State is favored, and I think they will win.
I think so
Fresno
too.
State has completely fallen off.
Yeah.
I think they were 6-0, or they were 5-0, but they were ranked, and since then they've lost more games than they won. So I don't know. I like New Mexico State in this one.
They were 8-1 at one point.
Fresno State?
Yeah,
Oh my god! I thought when did they lose their first game? Was that when they were 6-0?
5.
Okay, so 5. Yeah, so
And then they lost to
they've been
Wyoming.
3-4 since, and then they were 8-1 and 0-3 since that. That's insane.
Hmm.
Yeah, they fell off. I do think their starting quarterback got hurt, Mikey Keene, because
Did he?
every time that I somehow saw Fresno State on anything, their backup quarterback was in. So I don't know. But moving on from that, 7:30 on Saturday night, UCLA and Boise State in the Starco Brands LA Bowl at SoFi. That's going to be a good game, only because there's going to be some UCLA players who don't want to play. Like Dante Moore
Yeah.
gone,
Yep.
and they'll probably have some other transfers and then opt outs. Boise State is on a heater. But then again, it's Pac 12 versus, well,
Yeah.
a best of 5 school.
I still feel like UCLA is gonna win.
You know what? I'll go with Boise State.
Okay.
It might be a completely wrong pick, but I'm gonna ride Boise State's heater, and I think they can if UCLA doesn't get
Yeah.
off to a hot start
100%.
and they don't play good, which I don't know if they will because they're UCLA. Yeah, and then at 9:15, Cal plays Texas Tech in the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl in
Oh, what a name.
Louisiana. It's a long name. A lot of big words in that one. Both teams 6-6. Both teams stuck into a bowl game.
This is a toss up.
Yeah, you could flip a coin. Texas
Yeah.
Tech is favored by 3. You know what? I'll go with who I like more as a school. I'll go with Texas Tech. Why not?
Then you know what? I'll do Cal.
Why not, right?
Why not?
We already have more swing games on the first day of bowl games than we do in our average week of NFL. And then the last 2 games, one on Monday and one on Tuesday, we have Monday at 2:30, which if we were in school that would be fun to watch, but Monday at 2:30, Western Kentucky plays Old Dominion in the famous Toastery Bowl in Charlotte, North Carolina. Old Dominion is favored, but I was thinking about this one the other day. I never pick Old Dominion for some reason. I don't know why,
Mhm.
but I'm gonna go Western Kentucky.
I was gonna do Western Kentucky too.
Yeah. And the last one, this one might have been my easiest one to pick throughout the whole week so far. 9 p.m. UTSA versus Marshall in the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl in Toyota Stadium. Give me UTSA by 1,000,000.
Yeah.
I love
was gonna say
UTSA.
that too. Yeah.
And shout out to their defensive end, Trey Moore. He might be going to Texas. That's where he's crystal ball.
Oh.
That would be fun because Texas has been known recently to have some pretty good defensive ends.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I like UTSA.
Yeah, me too.
So yeah, that'll be the week, and then coming up next week, Syracuse has a bowl game. So
Yeah.
that's the week in the FBS, with the exception of the FCS game. But speaking of the FCS, we're in the semifinals for the national championship. We start off on Friday at 7 p.m. Albany. Shout out to Albany. Go New York. They take on the powerhouse South Dakota State, and South Dakota State's favored by 21 in the semifinals.
Damn.
So, although South
That's
Dakota State
crazy.
was favored by 20, I think 20 and a half last week against Villanova, and they didn't cover. But I don't think they're going to cover this week. I still think they're going to win. South Dakota State's so good.
Mhm.
But Albany, shout out to them for being in the semifinals. Another New York team representing with Cortland. But I will say Albany's black unis they wore the other day were tough, dude. Those were sweet.
Were they?
Yeah.
I didn't see him.
All black helmets with the Great Dane logo on the side. They were pretty freaking
That sounds
cool.
sick.
And then in the other semifinals on Saturday, North Dakota State and Montana. As much as I want to see a North Dakota State South Dakota State national championship, I do think Montana is a really good team. But North Dakota State's favored, so who knows?
Yeah.
South Dakota State, North Dakota State would be really cool. But I think South Dakota State's just going to run the table pretty easily. And then the Division II and Division III championship games are set. On Friday at 7 p.m., the boys from Cortland take on North Central from Illinois, I believe. I will be watching that game at a alumni-run bar. My dad, his buddy, runs it. And, yeah, so
is North Central good?
Oh, yeah, they won last year, and they're 14-0. It'll be a really good game.
Yeah.
But
They won 71-28, 65-0.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Well,
That's crazy.
also the it's the same thing with lacrosse too. The talent drop off in Division III after like the top 20 teams is insane. Like you'll see, for example, Salisbury in lacrosse, they would kick the ever living shit out of a team like John Carroll.
Yeah.
But that's just Division III because there's so many schools. But I'm heavy rooting for Cortland. It's going to be a fun week. Hopefully they get the job done on Friday. And then Saturday, Division II championship, Harding University, who's 14-0, and Colorado School of Mines, who's 14-0.
Wait.
That's the school that Tyson Bagent last lost to.
Yep.
So I was thinking about that the other day. So that's pretty cool. I mean, I think Colorado School of Mines gets it done. I think I don't even know honestly, but it's Division II, so
yeah.
Shout out to those teams who made it, and yeah, that's about it for the games going on. Other than that, I mean, you got the Heisman Award that was announced, Jaden Daniels, which we all knew. You called it. Would have been what?
That was what about
4 weeks ago now?
Yeah, probably 4 weeks ago, a month ago.
mean,
yeah.
What a call out! You were right the whole time. I did think as the season wound down and they started to go through it more, I did think Michael Penix Jr. would possibly get it just because he outplayed Bo Nix twice and Bo Nix was the other finalist. But nonetheless, Jaden Daniels statistically had one of the best seasons pretty much ever. But shout out to him for winning the Heisman. And then the other awards, you had, I think Jaden Daniels won every other quarterback award besides
I think so too.
the one, was it the Maxwell Award that Michael Penix won? Yeah, the Maxwell. So for outstanding player. So he won that, and the Walter Camp went to Jaden Daniels. The Home Depot Award for Coach of the Year, the Kalen DeBoer. What a dude! Second year, and he takes Washington to the college football playoff.
That's
coming
insane.
From Fresno State. Shout out to him.
Yeah.
And then the Doak Walker, Ollie Gordon the second. I figured that. I mean, I like Cody Schrader a little bit better, but Ollie Gordon, you can't really deny him. There was a point where he was top 5 in Heisman. And then Davey O'Brien went to Jaden Daniels. Johnny Unitas went to Jaden Daniels. The Bolitnikoff went to Marv.
Yep.
And
I was surprised they gave that to him, honestly.
A little bit.
I thought it was going to go to Neighbors.
Yeah, Neighbors had a great season. I mean, he was with Jaden Daniels, but I feel like if you put Marv on LSU and give him Jaden Daniels at quarterback, he is one of the most insane wide receiver seasons of all time.
Yeah, that is true. Very true.
And then Brock Bowers wins his back-to-back John Mackey Awards for the best tight end.
Hmm.
Tavondre Sweat wins the Outstanding Interior Lineman Award, which the Outland Trophy, which I always thought was a little bit weird because they do the centers, guards, and then the defensive tackles. So I mean, I get it because it's interior lineman, but still, I
Yeah.
feel like you could change it up a bit. And then the Lombardi Award for the top player was Latu. I probably completely said that wrong, but that one's a little bit surprising.
Latu.
Yeah, that one's a little bit surprising because I would have thought they would have gave it to Tavondre Sweat, but I really like Latu from UCLA. He could be a really good pro.
Mhm.
We'll see though. But the Remington for outstanding center goes to Jackson Powers Johnson, who just declared for the draft from Oregon. The Bednarik Award, North Carolina State linebacker Peyton Wilson for the Defensive Player of the Year for the Bednarik. Shout out to him, bro. He's a
Oh
dog.
yeah,
He's a dog. I really like him. I've he's been there for a long time though.
bro.
Hopefully he's
This
good in the NFL.
I don't understand the NCAA. How the ACC? They just don't care about the ACC. I swear. And then, I mean, they put Pam Wilson in, but for this, but I don't know. They don't take the ACC into account as much as they
No,
should.
they really don't. And it showed. It showed with
Yeah.
Florida State. But I sent you this yesterday. I don't know what I was looking at, but the graphic of like the brackets of
Yeah.
who beats who, what does the final four end up? They were right. If you went through all the games and you got down to that
Hmm.
last scenario, it was those four teams in that exact order, which you can't really argue that. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's over and done with, and all these Florida State people are trying to get
Yeah,
lawsuits brought up, but it's life's not fair.
I know. Yeah. What are you gonna do?
I actually wrote my ethical final paper on it because it was easy and I didn't have to
Yeah.
think too much about it. But yeah, life's not fair. You move on. It sucks. It really does. I would have loved to see Florida State play it in the college football
Yeah.
playoff,
Yeah.
but we saw TCU get pretty much gangbanged last year in the national championship. And I guess they just didn't want that to happen again. So,
I guess so, but you never know.
yeah, you never know.
Well,
But moving back to the
yeah.
the awards, the Bronco Nagurski Award went to Xavier Watts from Notre Dame. He's a solid DB. I like him. And then Peyton Wilson won the Dick Butkus Award too. R.I.P. Dick Butkus. The Jim Thorpe Award. We talked about this when the finalists came out. I said there's no way a dude from Air Force is gonna win this because it was Cooper
Yeah,
DeJean
you
and
did say
Malachi
this.
Starks. And Trey
Yeah.
Taylor from Air Force proved me wrong. Shout out to him for winning the Jim Thorpe Award. And then the same thing with the kicker. Graham
Yeah.
Nicholson won for Miami, Ohio. He won the Lou Groza Award. And I said there's no way a dude from Miami, Ohio gets the award. I just thought I thought it was a little more going to be a little bit more about politics and money with these schools like it was in the college football playoff. So,
It's not.
but Torrey Taylor did win the Ray guy. I said there was nobody else was winning that.
Obviously, that's all
Yeah.
they do is punt.
Yeah. Latu won the Hendricks Award for Defensive End of the Year. Bo Nix won the Top Scholar Athlete Campbell Trophy. Phil Parker from Iowa won the Assistant Coach of the Year. Now, I mean, I think he's on the defensive side, so that makes sense. But
then yeah.
still, the last two,
Yeah,
or no,
what?
Josh Gaddis, I believe, is defense for Michigan. But I was going to say the last two were offense, but that'd be wrong. Garrett Riley was offense for TCU. But besides that, I mean, the Lot Impact Trophy went to Junior Colson from Michigan. The most versatile player, the Paul Hornung Trophy, went
Hunter.
to Travis Hunter. Yep. And then the Disney Spirit Award, Brian Dooley from Eastern Michigan. The Werfel Trophy went to Lad McConkey. Shout out to him. San Diego State, or not San Diego State, South Dakota State. Jimmy Rogers won FCS Coach of the Year. Am I tripping, or did they have back-to-back two different coaches of the year? Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did.
John Stiglmeyer, and then it's Jimmy. So wow, they're like that. And then shout out to Mike Leach. He got RIP. He had the exceptional contributions to college football, the
Hmm.
contribution award. But yeah, those were the awards, and there was something I actually just saw pop up on my phone before we started recording. Romeo Dunze has been playing with a broken rib,
That's
and he
crazy.
suffered a punctured lung against Arizona.
That's crazy that he could play with
So
that.
basically, he's him. I mean,
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be really good in the NFL. He's just such a
Probably.
fun receiver to watch.
Hmm.
Like I said, I wouldn't be disappointed if he was a Bill. Props to him for playing on that. And then
Yeah.
Greg Schiano, Rutgers, extended through 2030. Good for him. I mean, that's just cool to see.
Yeah.
Go Rutgers. One of the last things I wanted to talk about before we move on from college football is the well, that and another thing, but the transfer portal continues to roll on.
Hmm.
There's been some commitments for quarterbacks, at least. There's been Riley Leonard to Notre Dame, which is huge, but he's just another ACC rental quarterback. Who honestly, I mean, I like Riley Leonard, but he struggled to stay healthy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I
I
wish
mean,
him the
he's
best at
a
Notre Dame.
solid quarterback though,
He is.
but
I think he's good. He's just got to stay healthy to be really good. And then another quarterback who committed, Grayson McCall, Coastal Carolina, is going to North Carolina State. Another transfer quarterback for North Carolina State. They had Brennan Armstrong this year. A lot of these guys still have yet to commit. Like Aiden Childs, I'm like he's 100% crystal balled to Michigan State, but it's just now waiting until he commits. And then Dante Moore, UCLA, and Cameron Ward from Washington State, who need to commit. I hope Cam Ward goes to OSU, but that's besides the point.
yeah.
Kyle McCord is crystal balled to Nebraska. Good for him. Will Rogers, crystal balled to Washington. Tyler Van Dyke, the most underwhelming quarterback in college football, is going to Wisconsin. Curtis Rourke entered the transfer portal. I'm just seeing this now. The Ohio quarterback. So maybe Ohio doesn't win
Hmm.
that game, but Ohio does have a good back.
Oh.
Ohio's backup quarterback won them the Barstool Bowl last year.
Mm.
So we'll see. I'll stick with my pick. It doesn't really matter. Ty Thompson entered the transfer portal after Dylan Gabriel committed to Oregon. Blake Shapen committed to Mississippi State. The Boise State quarterback transfers, so maybe Boise State won't win that game either. He's going to Arkansas. Hank Bachmeier, the Louisiana Tech transfer, I believe he transferred from Boise State as well. He's going to Wake Forest. And then Noah Kim is going to be the new Coastal Carolina quarterback, the Michigan State transfer. So yeah, a lot of moves. I mean, Trevor
Yeah.
Etienne also entered the transfer portal this last week. Jordan
Oh
Waters
yeah.
from Duke,
Uh-huh.
Raheem Sanders from Arkansas, and Chip Trayanum's going to Kentucky. He committed to Kentucky, so
Wow.
a lot of guys in the
Oh
transfer
wow.
portal.
It's like 100% that McCord's, well, not 100, but like
Yeah,
he's going to
yeah,
Nebraska.
the crystal ball is gonna send him to Nebraska. And Nebraska, speaking of them, they have been making some waves recently. Dylan Raiola, the number one quarterback in the class, is taking another visit down to Lincoln, Nebraska. That's where his dad played, Dominic Raiola, NFL offensive tackle or guard.
Hmm.
This is going to be interesting because they could go from having Jeff Sims at quarterback, who's also transferring, to having Kyle McCord and Dylan Raiola next year.
That's crazy.
Other than that, There's an offensive tackle who just entered, Chase Basantis from Texas A&M, who I believe has looks from Syracuse just because of Elijah Robinson. So hopefully
Uh-oh.
something could happen there. That'd be huge to get him on the
Mhm.
O line. Colorado's revamping their O line with some transfers. We're in an era where everybody wants to go somewhere new.
Yep. Kind of like you though.
Well, yeah, but I'm not a 5-star college football player.
Well, yeah.
I'm just an average white boy. Um, Oh, Leon Lowery officially committed to Wisconsin. Dang it. I really liked him, the Syracuse linebacker. Dang,
Uh,
that sucks. Oh, man. Chris Paul, he's going to Ole Miss. He's transferring from the Suns. Or where is he? He's on Warriors
oh,
right
he's on
now?
the Warriors.
I don't pay attention to the NBA. No, Chris Paul Jr. from the linebacker from Arkansas is going to Ole Miss. There was a Chris Paul in I think he played for Tulsa. I think he was an offensive lineman a couple years ago. I don't know. But
Okay.
yeah, a lot of transfers. There's going to be a lot of movement. Adam Vinatieri Jr. I did not realize he was a person. Kicker for Ball State. He's transferring. Okay. But yeah, that's the transfer portal for the current update, I guess. And the last thing I wanted to talk about in college football is the Fran Brown effect.
Mm.
Um, it's going. It is rolling right now. What I mean by the Fran Brown effect is he comes in from Georgia. He brings in Elijah Robinson from Texas A&M. He brings in the Patriots wide receiver coach, I believe, and he brings in Nick Williams from Colorado, and they are just already off to a hot start. They flipped a 4-star wide receiver from Texas A&M. They got Jackson Meeks, the Georgia wide receiver transfer. They are crystal balled to get a couple Texas A&M defensive guys, and they got a transfer recently. I think I probably just mentioned him, but honestly, I don't even remember.
And Cole Snyder considers the Orange one of
I
his
don't want Cole Snyder.
most likely landing spots.
No, no. I look. I'm not gonna talk bad about Cole Snyder. That's not what I'm trying to do. He's
No,
he's
I know.
he's from Buffalo, or well, Southwestern, but I mean still, it's Western New York adjacent. He's from Section 6. I'll say that. He
Mm.
great high school quarterback. Went to UB. Good for him. But like, I don't want him at Syracuse because I just know I want a quarterback who is gonna be better, or like Eric Dungy. And I mean, we were talking about this off air. Tommy DeVito was supposed to be that guy,
Hmm.
and he already has more wins, or yeah, more wins, the same amount of touchdowns in 5 less starts than Bryce Young. So I mean, I don't know. You know, it would be great if like Cam Ward. No, I know that's not gonna happen. I know that's out
Yeah.
of reach, but like maybe like Kyle McCord was crystal ball, or not crystal ball, but he was like projected. Him and Tyler Van Dyke had visits at Syracuse, I think.
Really?
I mean, I don't really want either of them.
Yeah. No,
I
I
think my
wouldn't.
expectations are just way too high. I'm not gonna lie, but I would have taken them. I think I would have taken Kyle McCord over Tyler Van
Yeah.
Dyke. But I
Uh,
mean, still, I want a guy who could take Syracuse to where they need to be next year, or at least
yeah.
a freshman who can mold into the guy at Syracuse. So I don't know, man. But I mean, the Fran Brown effect. I wouldn't be surprised if we can win 9 games maybe soon. Because like all these games that Syracuse plays, they're always close, but
Yeah,
then they
they
always
are.
just lose. I mean, I know how that sounds, but like when when 2 years ago, right? We started off 6-0, fantastic. We run into Clemson. Clemson's always going to be a tough game. That's a tough loss,
Mhm.
and then they just proceeded to fall apart. Now I think under Fran Brown, if we start 6-0, I don't think we fall apart. I think we can win 9 games, at
Yeah.
least. So I don't know. I'm excited for the rest of this off season, and then we'll see going into next year how Syracuse looks. But like I said, I as long as they can make a bowl game, get a signature win, and win 7 to 8 games, I think that's a perfect first year for Fran Brown.
Yeah.
So we'll see. That's about it for college football though, and so we'll move on to the NFL. In Week 14, there was some great games, and we'll get right into it on Thursday. New England beats Pittsburgh 21-18, and
That was
just
huge for us.
the most annoying game.
Oh, the under.
Yeah, I didn't think a single touch. They're like both quarterbacks were out.
Yeah.
Both defenses are great, and they hit the over in the first half. So yeah, I mean, good win for New England, good for us.
Yep.
Pittsburgh's probably gonna miss the playoffs because they're just gonna fall apart.
Yeah, probably.
That sucks though. Bailey Zappi went off, got me 20 fantasy
Oh,
points.
I know.
Although I did forget to switch my. I had him last week because the Bills were on a bye because I have Josh Allen, but I also may or may not have forgot to set my lineups this week. Tampa Bay beats Atlanta, and of course the first game I don't pick Atlanta or I don't pick Tampa Bay in a while, they win.
Yeah, I know.
So,
We both picked Atlanta, right?
yep.
Yeah.
And then Detroit loses to Chicago, so we start off 0-2. Actually 0-3 because yeah, Chicago got a good win.
Yeah.
Nothing much else to say there. Chicago might make the playoffs. If they
Yeah. I mean,
probably not.
they shouldn't think about moving on from Fields either.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I don't understand why they even talk about that.
They need a new coach.
Yeah.
And my fear is they're gonna make the playoffs, and Matt Eberflus is gonna stay another year because he took them to the playoffs. No, he's not a. I don't think he's a good coach. But and then Cincinnati beats Indiana They beat Indianapolis by 20.
Yeah.
Another Jake Browning masterclass. Oh man.
Well, yeah. What are we gonna do with this team?
I don't know, man.
They shouldn't be winning like this.
Right, but I mean, although Jake Browning is not a bad quarterback, he's just not a good NFL quarterback. He hasn't really proved himself in the NFL until now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Good for them though. But we'll see when it comes down to it what happens at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Cleveland gets a home win over Jacksonville. Great game. Joe Flacco, man. I mean, jeez.
Yeah, we needed Jacksonville in that too.
Yeah.
That sucked.
New Orleans beats Carolina 28-6. Makes sense. Not a lot to talk about
Dude,
there.
Carolina sucks.
They are not good in the slightest. Bryce Young, 137 passing yards. He's not very good.
No.
Although I would like to see, like I've said this before, nobody succeeds in Carolina anymore.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see what happens if they really truly rebuilt the team around him.
Nobody succeeds in Carolina. Nobody succeeds in New York.
Yep. Besides Tommy DeVito.
Well, I mean like the Jets. More the Jets.
Yeah, the Jets. Hey, it's New Jersey. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Jets, they win 30-6 over Houston. C.J. Stroud did get hurt, which sucks.
And Zach Wilson has the game of his life.
There's always this game so. What my theory is, when he gets in the game or when he gets into playing, he plays really good for like 1 to 2, maybe 3 games when he first starts playing.
Mm-hmm.
Then he just goes on like the shittiest skid ever. And then all of a sudden, just to keep him relevant, he goes off for 300 passing yards.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So weird.
Good win for the Jets. Kind of sucks that Houston's getting some injuries now, and we'll see what happens with that. But Jets.
Yeah, Nico Collins got hurt too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So their top 2 wide receivers are down.
And then who knows with CJ?
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yep.
But Baltimore and the Rams played a great game.
Wow, that was a really good game.
300-yard passing game.
Yeah.
Odell scored, and they win 37-31 in overtime.
What's his name? Tylan Wallace.
Tylan Wallace, yeah, dude. Him at Oklahoma State. He was the nastiest wide receiver. He was like Tyreek Hill 2.0, but if he didn't get any criminal charges. I could just say if he didn't transfer from Oklahoma State, but I'm going to go with the criminal charges route because he played for the Chiefs and Dolphins. Anyways, Baltimore gets the win. But a great game. I mean, Cooper Kupp finally had a good game, and like I mentioned, I didn't set my lineups. He was also on the bench.
Would you have played him though, anyways?
Probably not. I think I actually benched him knowing that he wasn't, that he was going to play this week. But I still was in the playoffs anyways, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
But I just recently have forgotten to set my lineups. Minnesota beats Vegas in the worst
horrible game
of all time. Maybe not of
And
all time, but 3-0 Minnesota.
Joshua Dobbs's time is done.
Yeah.
It's Nick
Nick
Mullins.
Mullins came in. I don't know what Minnesota's gonna do.
Yeah,
That's a team I want to get a quarterback.
yeah.
Like Caleb, but
I wouldn't be surprised if they do.
yeah, but I don't know what pick they're gonna have
That's true.
because
But they can still get somebody
they could
in the
still they could
play.
still
Yeah.
easily get somebody, but they're gonna miss out on Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, all these guys, and Drake May, who also just declared. They're gonna miss out on all these guys.
Maybe Nix or Penix.
Maybe or JJ McCarthy. That's not a terrible fit in Minnesota.
That's true. Yeah.
But I do think Penix is a better fit than Nix.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there. But Aiden O'Connell leads the game in passing yards, which didn't really make a difference. Over 3.5 or under 3.5 was always the play. Jeez, that's brutal. But then San Francisco handles business against Seattle, which that game made sense. I mean, Brock Purdy threw for over 350 yards. All the stars were just moving.
Yeah.
Debo is back. I mean,
Yeah.
it's Seattle. They ran into a buzzsaw. San Francisco is so good.
Mm-hmm.
They had a little 3-game losing streak there earlier, but they are just dominating.
They are the team to beat.
Yep, and especially after Philly lost this week.
Yep.
So, speaking of I guess not speaking of Philly, but Buffalo, we beat Kansas City. We got the job done.
Wow, what a game!
I was very impressed by Buffalo. Maybe not as much offensively, but I think we handled ourselves well, and we got a good win over a good football team.
Yes.
I'm happy with it. James Cook is it 4 straight games that he has 100 yards from scrimmage? Dude, he's been going off, bro. I love James Cook.
Me too.
Although Stephon Diggs hasn't been doing much.
Our receivers are not playing well right now.
No.
As soon as we get played man coverage against us, they can't get open. They can't get any separation.
Yeah. I will say, though, I don't remember who was talking about this, but I got a lot of insight onto Gabe Davis. I think it was last week. Somebody was saying how in the game against Philly, what was the game that he didn't have any catches? Was it the game before Philly?
I don't remember, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Somebody was saying how he was doing everything else perfectly. That's why Gabe Davis is a captain. Yeah, you want to see him have 100-yard receiving games. That'd be awesome. But at the same time, it's all 11 guys have to do their job for a team to win a football. Well, all 22, I guess. But on offense, at least, all 11 guys have to do their job to win football games and score points. And Gabe Davis does everything else perfectly. It just everybody looks at the stats, the receiving stats he has.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Like he's a wide receiver too. You want him to have. He should be having good receiving stats, but at the same time, I mean, if we're gonna win games and he's gonna block well, he's gonna set up plays well. That's really all it is. I think if he does that good,
I just feel like he should not be a wide receiver too.
Probably not.
Like, we need an actual wide receiver too, and then Davis could be there as.
I think what we need
which would be a great third receiver.
Yeah, true. I do agree with that point, but at the same time, I mean, he could still be a wide receiver too. But if Deontay Hardy, if we got somebody like, I'm trying to think of a good slot receiver, like a really good slot receiver, like somebody like his size, nobody really comes to mind right now. Like a Chris Godwin maybe. Somebody like that, like his size, who's just so fast. And a great slot receiver, somebody like that who could be that slot guy.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, Gabe Davis would still be on the field.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. I do think that Gabe Davis should be producing more. But at the same time, if he's going to do everything else right, it won't look as bad as.
Yeah. Makes sense.
But, I mean, hey, we got the win this week. Play Dallas this next week. And then we got Chargers, Patriots, Dolphins. All we gotta do is win out, and we win the division.
That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. Um, we'll talk a little bit more about this after the last couple games we mentioned here, but Chiefs they're crybabies.
Yeah.
Denver gets the job done against the Chargers pretty handily, which makes sense. I mean,
Herbert got hurt.
Easton Stick was playing.
Yeah.
Easton Stick was the heir to the throne at North Dakota State after Carson Wentz.
Sounds like he should be a hockey player.
Yep, or just a stick.
Or-
Who do they play? Who do they play this week? Because they made a joke on NFL the memes account. Easton Stick. It was just a picture of a Easton Stick, and it was Aiden O'Connell, and it was a picture of Farva. So I just thought that was funny, but that'll be a fun Thursday night game. Of course it is.
Yeah, of course it is.
But yeah, Denver's moving forward. They're only one game back from Kansas City right now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Shout out to
That
Denver.
would be something if Kansas City blew that.
And then
Yeah.
Dallas handles business. Just a great game for Dallas.
Yeah, I'm scared.
We did talk about this. Dallas was the team that I was concerned about the most because, like we said, Philly was due for a loss, which didn't happen.
That's true.
The Kansas City we beat in the regular season, but Dallas is the team that I'm a little bit worried about.
CD is different too.
He's so good.
He's so good.
He's such a good wide receiver. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens this week. It's a home game. I think.
Yeah, that'll help.
We just beat the Chiefs. It's gonna be loud in there. Hopefully,
Yeah.
better show out. I might tailgate. We'll see. I want to, but I don't know how much money those tickets are gonna be. But I'll definitely maybe I'll tailgate. So I don't know. It's gonna be.
Yeah,
a
maybe
fun
I'll go
game.
with you. We'll see.
I'll have a good time. Yeah, Dallas. I will say I really liked DeMarcus Lawrence. They accidentally put it on ESPN actually. DeMarcus Lawrence's interview. I don't know what the question was, but he said you just got to run through a motherfucker face over and over and over, and then until he quits, and then you hit him again and again. I really like DeMarcus Lawrence. I always have, but yeah, I'm a little bit worried about Dallas.
Yeah,
We'll see though. I think we're on an upward path.
But I also think they're on an upward path.
Oh yeah, they definitely are. I don't know how this game's gonna go. We'll
It's
come back
gonna be-
around to it.
I think it'll be a good game though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I don't think nobody's gonna blow anybody out. I just think it's gonna be a hard hitting, good game. Monday night, the most interesting Monday night slate I think we've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
So we start off with Miami, who was a heavy favorite at home. They go up 2 scores late after 2 fumbles,
Dude,
and Will Levis leads the Cavalry to a comeback win and a game-winning drive.
that was crazy.
Dude, I was so happy.
Yes, so was I.
Bro,
I'm
I was praying on Miami's downfall. Just standing I didn't even put the game on the TV. I had gotten back from my exam and I had put the game on my computer and I was just standing in my room, like walking around, and then I'd be like, "Let's go!" and I'd be like clapping, and I was just praying
I'm
so
like,
hard.
this game is over as soon as Tennessee. What did they fumbled or no? They muffed the punt.
Yeah.
Miami scored, and then the very next play, they toss it to Derrick Henry. He drops it, fumble.
Yep.
Miami scores. I'm like, this game's over.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, like they played so good in that last 3 minutes.
Yeah.
After just playing horrendous. And DeAndre Hopkins, oh my God, that catch.
Dude, but for fantasy, I needed 6 more points from him.
No.
I thought he was gonna get it done, dude. I was like,
Dang.
oh my.
That sucks. I will say though, that catch may or may not have been an offensive pass interference. He grabbed his arm and he kind of held it down, but at the same time, it was kind of like a non-awareness
no call, in my
play.
opinion.
Yeah, I like the no call there.
Yeah.
But I mean, man, Tennessee, man. And then at the same time, the man, the myth, the legend, Tommy DeVito is leading the Giants to a game-winning field goal drive over the Packers.
Wow.
Which that hurt a little bit more because I had Packers and the over in the Miami game.
Mm.
So it's
Mm.
whatever. But I mean, jeez, Tommy
Yeah.
DeVito, man, his agent, his dad, everything's coming together. Man, dude, I like at this point, I'm just gonna claim him to Syracuse. If he wins again this next week,
Yeah.
dude, Tommy DeVito is just he's having a special run here.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, those were the games. I mean, it was a fun week, and we'll circle back to the Bills game real quick before we move on to next week. The Chiefs, I like. Okay, stuff has come out in the week since Sunday night that Kadarius Toney was consistently offsides,
Mm-hmm.
and they were already warned. Yada yada yada. That doesn't matter. My problem is with how they reacted, how
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes reacted, how Andy Reid reacted, how all these guys reacted. Those are guys that they're two-time Super Bowl champions. Well, Andy Reid's actually
Mhm.
more than that, but
Yeah.
those are guys that you have never seen talk like that about refs or about a game like that.
Yeah. I mean, they get all the calls all the time.
Yeah.
Everybody complains, but they don't do
Yeah,
that.
and one thing goes the wrong way,
Yeah.
they make a big scene about it.
Yeah.
And by that logic, they lose their Super Bowl. They
Yeah.
lose
Exactly.
a lot of other games throughout the year. It's just it's like, and if any other team, I probably wouldn't even think too much as much about it if it wasn't the Bills. But
I know.
the Chiefs, like that was like the first thing, that was the first call that went right for the Bills since fucking OJ
I
Simpson.
know. Exactly.
I
That's
saw
what
that
I was thinking.
online.
I'm
I
like,
was like,
finally something
we
went our
never
way.
get any calls.
Yeah.
We got a call go our way before we got GTA 6. But I mean, it's just insane.
I just think it's crazy that Mahomes. That was the thing that Mahomes said to Allen after the game.
yeah,
After
that's
like
he doesn't
that's
care.
Yeah.
Josh
He's
does
like,
not care. Josh was
no.
befuddled. That's
Yeah.
one of the funnier words
I
I've
mean,
seen. But
Josh lost an insane game in the playoffs
Yeah.
to you and didn't say shit about it.
yeah, he was, and I think that showed the Chiefs' real colors. I don't think
Yeah.
they win a Super Bowl. I think B, they don't or barely skate by in their division.
Yeah.
I think they're a first round exit this year,
I
depending
would
on who
agree
they
with
get.
that. Yeah.
Also depending
I
on who
will
they get.
say, did you see Travis Kelce after the game to Josh?
That's the one that I didn't see.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't see?
No.
He was complete opposite of
Yeah, Travis Kelce.
Patrick Mahomes.
I like Travis Kelce.
Gained some respect for him
Yeah,
after
and
that.
the one thing I did see about Travis Kelce after the game was that he jersey swapped with Dalton Kincaid because
Yeah.
they had a little bromance on
Yeah.
tight end U.
Last thing to talk about. Did you see McDermott said that this whole past week he's watched the last 2 minutes of all like the games that he's lost?
Yeah. You sent that to me, right?
Yeah. And then we go out there in the fourth quarter. Our defense lets up that pass to Travis Kelce and then a
Yeah.
lateral for a touchdown. If
Well-
it weren't for that call, we're talking about the same thing again.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with you there, but I mean,
I mean,
I didn't even think about it that way. I mean, that's kind of
come
funny.
on, dude.
Like, yeah,
Figure it out.
let's be honest. We did get a little bit lucky with Kadarius Toney being egregiously
Yeah.
offsides. But I mean, that's just the icing on the cake, isn't it? Wait, we didn't even talk about, because this came out after the podcast last week.
Oh, yeah.
The 9/11
Yeah.
dude. I mean, you can't say that.
No, you can't.
But hey, I mean, we won the game,
Yeah.
so they did rally behind him, which I think helped us
Yeah.
a little bit. But
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see how that goes moving forward. I might be back on the fence about the McDermott, but the last couple weeks because I wanted to fire him, but I think I'm back on the fence now. I'm not saying keep him as the head coach, but I'm also not saying fire him after this season. We'll see what happens, and then we'll
We just need
evaluate.
somebody to take over in the final 2 minutes of a game when we're
Yeah,
up.
right.
That's literally it. Other than that, he's completely fine.
Yeah, it's the simple change of 1-score games.
Yeah.
It's all we have to do is win those games, and we have like 3 Super Bowl. I don't know, probably not, but like
Probably.
yeah, it's just insane to me. But Yeah. So all in all, got the win. We move on to Dallas. Kansas
Yep.
City can wallow in their pity for however long they want. But, I mean, just a good win for us.
Yeah.
Other than that, we're not moving on from the Bills yet because I wanted to talk about this. I put this on the talking point sheet. Josh Allen MVP.
Yes.
Nobody really
Well,
has him as an MVP candidate.
I did just see that on, I forget what page it was, but they had him at number 5. But he was still below Jalen, which makes no
Yeah,
sense.
Jalen is on there because of how good his team is.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't get it.
He has 2 more turnovers than Jalen and 12 more touchdowns or something.
This is kind of similar to Jaden Daniels and Michael Penix Jr.
Yeah.
because Jaden Daniels statistically is by far better. Josh Allen is statistically by far better.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Hurts has a better team. Michael Penix has a better team.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, by definition, the MVP is the most valuable player to their
To
team.
their team.
Jalen Hurts is not even a
Exactly.
top. Well, I can't say that. He's not a top 3 most valuable player to that team.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the quarterback, so by proxy, he is one of the more valuable
Yeah,
players.
exactly.
But in terms of how much talent they have, he's not.
No.
So I just think Josh Allen's the MVP.
Yeah.
That's my case. A couple headlines before we move on to our Week 15 picks. A couple other headlines, that is. Bill Belichick has been moved on from by Robert Kraft.
Yeah.
That, I mean, not really surprising, but it was also surprising because he decided after the Colts game and
Yeah.
it didn't get released until now. Man, Bill Belichick's not going to be the coach of the New England Patriots
Yeah,
anymore.
that's
Going to be
crazy.
weird.
I don't know. If I was him, I would retire.
I mean,
It's like
yeah,
he's in his 70s already, dude.
he looks good for 70, though. I will say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see what he does, but I still think he's going to coach.
Probably.
So our picks this week, after last week, well, we started off slow, and then we picked up hot, and we were tied going into Monday night, so we tied in the week that is. But we lost both games on Monday night, so we finished 8-7 for the week, and I remain 1 game ahead of you. And going into this week, we have everybody playing. 3 games on Saturday, Thursday, Monday night, and the rest of the games on Sunday. A lot of games to be picked. How many swing games we'll have, I do not know. Starting off on Thursday, the Chargers go to Vegas.
I'm gonna say Vegas because that
Yeah,
win
yeah.
just because of Herbert being out.
I agree with you. I don't think the Chargers will put up enough consistent offense.
Yeah.
It's really just who can play more offense,
Yeah.
and Vegas' defense is pretty good.
Yeah.
So I just think Vegas will get it done. Saturday, though, 3 games. Minnesota at Cincinnati. Another odd game to pick, but I think I'm going to go Cincinnati.
Yeah, me too.
Minnesota's,
Unfortunately.
again, it's just who can play a little bit more consistent offense. I think Cincinnati can do that.
Yeah.
And then Pittsburgh at Indianapolis. I have no idea to pick here.
This is a horrible game for us.
Yeah.
They're
I-
both
I don't
7 and
even know.
6.
I genuinely don't know. I think Indianapolis bounces back.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think. Yeah. Yeah, Indianapolis.
Yeah. Again, consistent offense.
Yeah.
And then Denver at Detroit. This game will be the one we're waiting for on Saturday.
Yeah, I do think Detroit will bounce back and get a win.
I agree with you there. I
Yeah.
think Detroit wins this one. And I
Yeah.
think all 4 home teams. That's what we
Yeah.
picked. Yeah. Sunday, Chicago at Cleveland. What do you think about this one?
I think it'll be a good game.
I agree.
Hopefully, I think Cleveland's defense will probably, honestly.
Yeah.
I want Chicago to win, but I think Cleveland's going to win.
I'll make it a swing game. I'll
Okay.
go with Chicago. I think they're hot and they need another win.
Yeah.
I'll take Chicago.
I could see it.
Yeah, it should be a really good game.
Yeah.
hopefully. Tampa Bay at Green Bay, the Bay game. Um,
I'm gonna go with Green Bay.
yeah, I think they bounce back
I
this
get
week.
a bounce back. Yeah.
And I mean, but hey, we didn't pick Tampa last week in that one, so I don't know.
Yeah. I don't
What
know.
do I know? But I think Green Bay bounces back this week.
Mhm.
Houston at Tennessee, depending on the severity of CJ Stroud's
Yeah,
injury, I do not know who will win this game. But Tennessee, they looked like a team.
they did at times.
Those last 3 minutes, I think they came. Well, they came alive, but those last 3 minutes, they came alive as a team. Will Levis
I
was
mean,
fired up. Give me Tennessee in this
maybe
one.
maybe it'll give him some confidence
Yeah, I'm gonna
that
go.
win.
I'm gonna go with
I'm
Tennessee in this one. Home
I'm gonna
game.
go Tennessee too.
Yeah, I think they can get the job done with the questionable Houston injuries.
Yeah,
New York at Miami.
it's gonna be Miami.
Yeah,
I think.
Miami is pissed that they didn't win this on Monday. Although New York could get the job done. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, New
Didn't they
York's
just
defense
play?
shows up. Huh?
They just played like 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago.
Probably.
Sure they did.
Yeah, scheduling. But yeah, I think Miami does it. They get the
Yeah.
win. And then Kansas City at New England. 5 years ago, this would have been an awesome game. Now, not so much.
Brady Mahomes.
Yeah.
No.
No, Kansas City will win.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about that one. New York and New Orleans. The Giants travel to the
Give me Tommy
Superdome.
DeVito.
I agree. That's my pick
DeVito.
of the week. Giants plus 5.5. Dude, they're hot. They're hot. They're
Mhm.
having fun. And I think if Tennessee wins this week, they could be similar to New York. They're hot and having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the Giants this one. Atlanta at Carolina.
Give me Atlanta.
Yeah, probably going to be the one of the least watched 1 o'clock games. Atlanta should get the job done in Charlotte. Carolina will remain
Yeah.
with 1 win.
hmm
4 o'clock games. Washington at the Rams.
I think the
It's
Rams are
4 o'clock.
playing good right now.
Yeah, that's another
think they'll
team
win.
who's
Yeah.
moving in the right direction. I think the Rams get the win too. Do we only have one swing game right now?
You have Chicago, Cleveland, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
one swing game. Great. San Francisco at Arizona. We don't even have to talk about this one. It's gonna
Yeah,
be San
no.
Francisco. They're the hottest
Yeah.
team in the NFL right now. Dallas at Buffalo. Here we go.
Gonna be a fun game.
Now, again, like every week, we pick the Bills no matter what. But what is your outlook for this game?
I think we'll win. I do. I just have the feeling.
I agree with you. I something's in the air
Yeah.
in Buffalo. I think
It really is.
the ship is turning around.
I mean, we got a call for us
Yeah,
last Sunday.
like that never happens.
That never happens. Something's going on.
The ship is turning around. I think if we can score first,
It's going to be a very offensive game.
yes. If Highmark is loud, like the fans, I love Buffalo,
Mhm.
but sometimes when something goes wrong early in a game, the fans
Yep.
get quiet.
Yes.
And
I will say, I did see something that said Dallas is a different team away than they
are
are.
not
home.
as good away as they are
Yeah.
home. And
Yeah.
that's something that we have to do. Because as a Bills fan base, it's like the Eagles, it's like Dallas, it's like any other fan base with crazy ass fans.
hmm
If you're good at home, you're set.
Yeah.
And the Bills sometimes struggle with the fans noise that is. We just gotta stay loud.
Yeah.
It's tough to play in Highmark when we are loud.
hmm
So that's all we gotta do. Get pressure, score points, win game.
Yeah.
Easy. Right? Easy enough. Go Bills.
Except I will say Epinesa and Hyde are both week to week. So that might hurt a little bit.
Not great,
Yeah.
but also not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But at the end of the day, go Bills.
Yes.
Baltimore at Jacksonville Sunday night. That's a good Sunday night game.
That is a good Sunday night game.
I think Baltimore beats them by 2 scores.
I think I'm gonna make this a swing game.
Ooh.
Jacksonville at home.
I don't hate that. I just Jacksonville with Trevor Lawrence's injury, I don't know what they're gonna look like coming up against Baltimore.
Give me Jacksonville.
All right. So we got our second swing game. And then Monday night, Philadelphia at Seattle.
Mm-hmm. This is my pick of the week. Seattle +4. But I'm still gonna take Philly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Philly gets it done. Breaking news, real quick, before we move on to anything else. Texas backup quarterback Malik Murphy enters the transfer portal.
Wow.
So it looks like Arch is going to stay in Texas. Yeah. And another breaking news injury, Keenan Allen is out for Thursday Night Football. So that just makes our Raiders pick stronger.
Yeah.
They're going to have Easton Stick to Quentin Johnston. That's going to be brutal. I feel sorry for Chargers fans. Anyways, so there's our picks for the week. Should be a good week. A lot of games. Everybody's playing. I'm excited. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
And that's about all we have for the NFL.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to talk a little bit about the other things real quick. But, of course, this had to happen like literally less than 2 hours after we got done recording last week. Juan Soto is a Yankee.
Wow. That's awesome.
It took some pieces.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Juan Soto, man. What a trade for the Yankees.
Yeah. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah. And I'm glad we kept Gleyber Torres.
Yes, me too.
That was what I was worried about. And we got Trent Grisham, too.
Yeah.
So, and I know we talked about Verdugo last week.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just waiting on Yamamoto.
Could you imagine?
Dude.
We're a World Series team if we
Yama Soto needs to happen. But hopefully, I think he met with the Yankees either Sunday or Monday, so we'll see what happens there. But there's a lot of teams after him.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see where he wants to go.
And then Otani's
$700 million.
That's crazy.
Dude.
What do you even do with all that money?
I don't even know.
I wish.
I know. I wouldn't.
And he still make it. Hey, then they made it like $2 million a year for the first 10 years.
Yeah.
That's still insane.
Yeah.
$2 million.
Yeah, we'd be killing for that money. Man, the life of a superstar athlete.
Yeah.
A generational talent.
I wish.
$700 million. This dude he's set.
Yeah, set for life.
It's insane. And Yamamoto will get half that, which is still insane.
Yeah.
$350 million. I mean, that's just a dumb amount of money.
Yeah. So, Yankees Dodgers World Series. The MLB needs it.
Yes. I need it. The MLB needs it. It has to happen. I just need the Yankees in a World Series again. But yeah, I mean, not a lot else going on in MLB. It's still the off season, so
Yeah.
Once football's over, we'll be talking more about that. And then the NHL, Sabres get 2 wins after a little skid. The goal scorers the other night were just a weird group. Okposo starts off the scoring, then Eric Robinson gets his first as a Sabre, and then Krebs scores, and Okposo and Robinson had 2 assists in that stretch.
Very interesting.
Got the win. I mean, I was excited, but hey, I mean, I didn't.
They're 4 points out of playoffs only.
Yeah,
not bad.
Yeah, still a lot of hockey left to be played. I think we'll be just fine. And although those 4 games
in 3 hours.
Oh yeah, 10:00 tonight against the Avalanche. It's gonna be an interesting game.
Who are on a roll right now, I would say.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Late game against the Avalanche.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get the win, but hey, as long as we play good, right?
Yeah.
Levi's back. He's playing good, which I think it was
Paige
good.
is back.
Yeah. I think it was good for Levi to go back down for a little bit.
Yeah.
Because he was struggling, and I mean, it's his first time playing consistent NHL games, so We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens there. I'm excited. Nah, I wouldn't say excited. I'm interested to see where this Sabres team goes this
Yeah.
season. And then college basketball, already into week 6 of the rankings.
That's crazy.
We have, I think we've talked about this too many times. We debated about what day the rankings come out, and we finally figured out it comes out on Monday because we looked it up.
Mhm.
But I was convinced it was Tuesday. Arizona and Houston, Baylor are the top 10 in the top 10. They're the last undefeateds in the top 10. Oklahoma's at 11. Wow. Oklahoma and Clemson, shout out to them.
Wow.
They're just balling 9-0 each.
Yeah.
James Madison's
In
undefeated.
Madison, yeah.
And I can't remember the other undefeated teams, but I know there's like 2 more maybe. But a lot of the undefeated teams fell this last week.
Duke doesn't deserve to be ranked.
Yeah, I agree there.
I don't know why they are.
Because they're Duke.
I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. But
UNC's up there this year, though. They're 9 right now.
Yeah, UNC's playing good. I'm just still... Why is Oklahoma so good?
Yeah, I don't know.
After Buddy Hield, they just didn't have anything ever. Well, Trae Young, I guess, but... It's interesting. But yeah, I mean, Arizona's at 1, Kansas at 2, Purdue at 3.
Oh, and then Bronny made his debut.
His great debut with
Sunday.
4 points.
And they lost to
they lost to Long Beach State.
Long Beach.
Okay. This was my take on this. It sucks what happened to Bronny. Like, my heart's got to him, obviously, but I know he's LeBron James' son. Obviously, his debut is going to make headlines.
Mm-hmm.
My problem is he scored 3 points and they lost to Long Beach State. They are USC.
Mm-hmm.
A Power 5 college basketball team who is supposed to be good. They lost to Long Beach State.
Yeah, that's bad.
I don't even know where Long Beach State is.
I don't either.
I mean, it's in Long Beach, California. I know that for a fact. But,
Oh.
like, still, you know what the point I'm trying to make is. I'm at a loss for words here. How do you lose to Long Beach State in a game that's that well, like,
Yeah.
produced?
That is horrible.
Awful. I mean, jeez. Just brutal. But he should have came to Bonnie's, you know. He should have made it Brown Adventure.
Yeah.
But Bonnie's, on the other hand, they are playing some teams who aren't that good. But like
They're playing FAU.
FAU on Saturday.
Yeah.
Up to this point, though, the toughest team they've played. I mean, besides Auburn, hasn't really been a tough team we've played. But beat Siena pretty handily. I was at that game. We played good. Siena's not good at all. They might be one of the worst college basketball teams in the country. But it was a fun game. We had a good time. Bonnie's got the win. FAU on Saturday in Massachusetts. I think we can put up a fight. I don't think we're going to win.
Yeah.
That would be a massive win.
Mm-hmm.
That would completely make up for the Canisius loss. But I just don't think it's possible.
Yeah.
That'd be huge, though. I'm interested to see it because Micah Adams-Woods, he is so tough. He's slowly becoming one of my favorite players in college basketball, and that's not just because he goes to my school.
Mm-hmm.
He went perfect from the field against Siena.
You sure it's not just because he goes to your school?
Yes, I'm sure. I liked him at Cincinnati. I mean, he wasn't like the best. He wasn't like their leading player, but he was a good role player at Cincinnati, I believe. And then he's just balling out here. Yeah, it helps that he goes to my school. There's a little bias there, but I mean, he's a really good basketball player. I'm excited to see how he plays against FAU because he was perfect from the field. I think he had 23 points in the first half, and then we kind of started to put in the backup, so he didn't really play much in the second half. But just a great player. Yeah. And then Syracuse, still rolling on. They beat Georgetown what is a Hoya?
What's Syracuse's record?
7-3, I believe.
So they're better than Duke right now.
Yep. They're Syracuse is beating the teams they should and losing to the teams they should. So, I mean,
When is that game this year?
not until
January 2nd.
January
Oh,
2nd.
it's at Duke.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how that game goes because that's in 3 games for Syracuse, or the 4th game it's for Syracuse. But
Yeah.
they play Oregon on, is that Saturday at 1, and then they play Niagara Pitt. So the way the season's going and the losses that we've taken and the wins we've taken, I think Oregon, Niagara, and Pitt should be wins. And then Duke will be a tough game. But I don't know. Georgetown Hate Week went great. Still a good rivalry despite Georgetown not being that good. But yeah, so I'm a fan of 2 winning teams right now. We'll see what happens.
And then Friday night, 10 p.m., we got UConn versus Gonzaga.
UConn.
Yeah, probably.
Gonzaga is not good.
Yeah.
I mean, they're good, obviously. They're not like a bad team, but they're not going to beat.
UConn is good.
Yeah,
this year.
UConn is
Again.
close.
And
Gonzaga's not going to beat any of the good teams this year.
Yeah.
And they lost to Washington.
Saturday, UNC versus Kentucky and Arizona versus Purdue.
Ooh, Arizona versus Purdue is going to be a good game.
Yeah.
I do think Arizona is just insane.
They are. They
But
came out of nowhere.
Yeah. They're also kind of due for a loss, though. They're
True.
still undefeated. So.
I wouldn't be surprised if Purdue won that. I feel like they're going to.
Yeah. That seems like the type of game that Arizona would lose because it happens. Nobody goes undefeated anymore. I mean, it's tough to go undefeated. You always run into one team who has your number.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll circle back around to college basketball next week. Talk about some more games, and then we'll. Like I said last week, it's tough to talk about college basketball and college and any other sport really besides football because of it's still going on. So once that quiets down, we'll get more into it. But yeah, I mean that's really all we have. Yeah, so good episode. I'm not sure how long this one's gonna be because we talked a lot, but hopefully it's not as long as I think it's gonna be. I mean, yeah. So we'll have another good week here. We'll be in person next week for episode 10. I feel like every week we're surprised at how many episodes we've done.
Yeah.
But yeah, episode 10's next week. So thank you guys for listening to episode 9 of the Buffalo Take.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week.
See you guys.